Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever taken a look at the back of your computer and just thought, what on earth is going on back there? It's this absolute spiderweb of wires, and honestly, it can be pretty intimidating. Well, in this explainer, we're going to untangle that mess. We're going to decode the chaos. So let's jump right in.
Yeah, we've all been there, right? You peek behind your beast of a machine with all its cool lights, and you're met with this jungle of cables. But trust me, behind all that, every single one of those ports and plugs has a very specific job, and today we're going to find out exactly what each one of them does.
So, think of this as your personal guided tour through that cable jungle. We're going to start with the absolute basics, we'll get to know all the key players, and I promise, by the end of this, you'll be able to navigate the back of any PC with total confidence.
I mean, seriously, have you? Because if the answer is yes, you are definitely not alone. That colorful mess of different shapes and sizes can look more like a weird puzzle than a finely tuned piece of engineering. But there is a logic to it all, and we're about to crack the code.
And that's really our goal here. We want to go from staring at a confusing panel to just knowing instinctively where everything goes. Your monitor, your keyboard, your headphones, even your internet connection. It's all about taking the guesswork out of your own tech.
All right, let's officially start our tour at what's called the I/O panel. That stands for input/output, which is just a fancy way of saying this is where your computer talks to the outside world. It's basically mission control for your PC. Let's learn its language.
Okay, so here's our map for the journey. Now, the absolute easiest way to understand this whole panel is to stop trying to memorize every single port. Seriously, don't do that. Instead, let's group them into three main neighborhoods: ports for what you see, ports for what you do, and ports for what you hear: video, data, and audio.
But first, a super quick but really important vocabulary lesson. Let's get these two terms straight. The port is the socket, the hole that's actually on the computer itself. The connector is the plug, the part on the end of your cable that you stick into the port. So port on the PC, connector on the cable. Simple as that. So using our map, you can see these neighborhoods laid out pretty clearly. We've got the video ports like HDMI, that's for everything you see. Then we've got the data ports for everything you do, like moving files with a USB drive or getting online with an Ethernet cable. And finally, the audio ports for everything you hear, using those little colorful jacks for your speakers and microphone.
Okay, now let's zoom in on what is, without a doubt, the king of the data neighborhood: USB, the Universal Serial Bus. You know, in a lot of ways, the story of USB is the story of modern computing. It's that important.
And just look at this timeline. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Back in 1996, the first USB moved data at a sleepy 12 megabits per second. Fast forward to today, and USB 4 can hit 40 gigabits per second. To give you some perspective, that's over 3,000 times faster. That's the difference between waiting a few minutes to download a single song versus downloading an entire 4K movie in just a couple of seconds. Wild.
But it wasn't just the speed that changed. The physical shape of the plug evolved too. We started with that classic rectangle, the Type A, and that chunky square one, the Type B, that you always saw in printers. Then came this whole zoo of smaller connectors, micro, mini, for our phones and cameras. All of that chaos eventually led us to the modern marvel, the small, oval, and, thankfully, reversible USB-C. So the key thing to get here is that for years, we had one USB standard, that's the technology inside, but a whole bunch of different physical connectors. And that's why you needed a separate cable for your camera, your phone, and your external hard drive. The whole point of USB-C is to finally unify all of that into one single connector that does everything. All right, let's step away from the world of general data for a bit and head over to the most demanding neighborhood on our entire map: video. This is where we plug in our monitors and create that gorgeous feast for our eyes.
So in today's video world, it's pretty much a two-horse race between HDMI and DisplayPort. And the easiest way to think about them is like this. HDMI is the king of your living room. It's perfect for your TV, your PlayStation, your Xbox. DisplayPort, on the other hand, is the champion for PC power users. It's better for things like ultra-smooth, high refresh rate gaming, and for cool tricks like hooking up multiple monitors from a single port.
And this is so important to remember. It's not just about getting a picture to show up on your screen. The right cable makes sure you're actually getting the best refresh rate, the best colors, the best everything that your monitor is capable of. You really don't want your cable to be the bottleneck holding your system back.
And you know, those video cables are what bring these incredible screen technologies to life.
Whether you've got an IPS panel with amazing color accuracy or a lightning-fast TN gaming monitor, it's the quality of that connection that lets the screen really shine and perform at its absolute best.
So we've toured the past, we've looked at the present, now let's look at the grand finale, the future. A future where all these different ports and cables are finally coming together into one.
And that brings us back to this incredible number, 40 gigabits per second. This is the insane amount of bandwidth you get with modern standards like Thunderbolt and USB 4. And that speed, right there, is the key that unlocks the ability to do absolutely everything through a single tiny port.
And that's the absolute magic of a technology like Thunderbolt. It takes that massive speed and crams everything, your high-speed data, your Ultra HD video, and even the power to charge your laptop, all into a single cable that uses that friendly little reversible USB-C connector.
And this, right here, is the destination of our entire journey. All the new standards, all the technological breakthroughs, they're all pushing us toward this one beautiful, elegant solution. One single, powerful, versatile port to get rid of all the clutter. You might say one cable to rule them all.
And you can see this trend happening right now. Just look at the back of a modern computer. Those old single-job ports are vanishing, and they're being replaced by rows of powerful USB ports, especially those do-it-all USB-C and Thunderbolt ports. The result? It's simpler, it's cleaner, and it's way, way more capable.
So we've come a long way, from a jungle of tangled cables to the dream of a single, all-powerful one. Which leaves us with one final question to think about. In a world that's becoming more and more wireless every day, how long do you think it'll be until even this last cable finally disappears? Thanks so much for joining me on this tour.